Now this is a challenge. If you're about to upload your next YouTube video or you're in the process of making it, then stop and pause for 30 seconds. Because what I'm gonna tell you next might either make or break your next video performance. I ignored this for years and it cost me thousands of subscribers and tons of videos, but now after 2 years, I'm struggling to fix it. And no, this has nothing to do with the algorithm. These are 3 simple common mistakes that you might be doing unknowingly before uploading your videos, which is causing this painfully slow growth. Let's start with the first one. What I learned after doing YouTube for almost 2 years is that the difference between a video that dies and the video that actually gets views usually comes down to one decision that you make right before you even start. This might be the problem that you're facing right now, and I used to face this when I started this journey, like first 9 months, and is that you come up with ideas randomly while you're walking somewhere, or while you're lifting weights in the gym, or while you're sitting in the desk. You come up with the idea and you feel like, this idea is pretty good, I should work on it. And then what you do is you plan out the entire idea, you script that video. Once you script that video, you go to that filming phase, just like this one. Then you go to the editing, which takes ages. And after working for very long time, now you are ready to upload that video. And just before uploading, you have so much high expectation from that video. And then you upload. This might have happened with you. It has happened to me for a very long time that you don't get views. It doesn't get views as compared to your average videos. It's sometimes 10 out of 10, which basically means that is the worst performing video. You thought this idea works, but it doesn't. And really, I got frustrated because of this. Because when I used to look in my YouTube homepage, every single time, there used to be some new creators who just started, or my favorite creators, they are always getting views in their every video. But for me, there used to be video that used to get 50 views sometimes 5 views, and sometimes even 8 views. But then, one decision that I made right, I'm very proud of it, is I started to research why my favorite creator gets views and why don't I get views. And when I researched, I found a pattern that every single big creator or someone who just grew recently was using. The pattern was they all stole ideas from one another and rarely came up with their original idea. There's a saying, right? A great artist creates, but the legend steals. Once I found out this, then I realized there was something that I might be doing wrong, right? Because I'm coming with ideas, my original ideas every single time, and it's not working. But they are stealing ideas and it's working for them. Then I realized the most important part of your video isn't the video. It's the idea that you choose, and your idea determines whether you'll get views or not. But then I found out the top creators select ideas differently as compared to us, and when I applied their approach of selecting ideas, within my next 3 videos, my views skyrocketed. So this is how your favorite creators are selecting their ideas. Firstly, they come up with the idea just like everyone, either through research, either through scrolling on YouTube homepage, or through their own original idea. But the second step, which is the most important step, they validate that idea with the data which is already presented, and based on that data, they choose to either work on that video or not. But I know how painful it is to come up with the idea that actually works and validating of it. But here are 3 ways that you can do it easily. The first is the outlier framework. To explain this more properly, I'll play an old video of mine where I've explained it detailedly. But if you want to learn more about it, you can watch this video. After watching this video, the link will be in the description. Most big creators use this a lot, and that's the outlier framework. Now, outlier framework is that you using the things that's already working. And why is this important? Because when you're starting out on YouTube, you don't have any experience. You don't know which topic will work on YouTube. You don't know how to stand out. You don't know how to beat the competition. You don't know how does even algorithm work. And every time you have to come up with new concepts, new ideas. And in that process, it takes almost 7 to 8 months to learn about YouTube. But you can reduce this time to grow on YouTube just by using the outlier framework. Outlier basically means the topic that gets more views than channel's average. Let's say there is a channel that gets roughly around 700, 800 views per video. And in that channel, there is a video that has got more than 50k views, or 30k views, or 20k views. So that video is an outlier in that entire channel. And most big creators use this a lot. They take the idea that's already working, tweak it a little bit, and apply that in their niche. Why? Because that videos are proven to work. If you make a video that is already proven to work, it's much more likely that that video will also work it for you. For example, there is a video of Maggie. The idea of this video she took out from other creators. She took the video that was already popular, the title which was already popular, the thumbnail which was already popular, and made own version of it. Now this same video, people took inspiration from it and made their own version and are getting millions of views. So this is the power of outlier framework. You are using the topic that is already proven to work. Now here are 2 ways you can spot outlier. The first way is a difficult way. In this way, what you just do is you go to a home page and you just scroll in that home page and find out the outlier. Now this is a manual work. It takes lots of time to do this and I'm not a huge fan of it, but you can use the second approach and this is much more easier. You can download a vidIQ extension on your Chrome browser, and once you do that, in your home page you start to see each video in this way, where you'll get how much views that video is getting per hour, and you'll also see this 100x, 6x, 5x, 2x kind of sign, which means the outlier videos. If it is 100x, that basically means that video is performing 100 times as compared to its channel average, and this is the exact way I found my outlier. Thought, validating original ideas. Now if you have original ideas, you didn't use outlier frameworks, you didn't use the ideas that's already existed in the market, but it's your raw idea that's in your head. Now you want to validate that idea. The way that you validate the idea is by you go to YouTube, you search your idea, and based on your search you'll get couple of results, and based on the results you'll compare the views that every video in that topic is getting. And if the topic is getting much more views, then you can make videos over that. But if it is not getting views, you don't make videos over that. To make things simpler, you can download again vidIQ, and if you download the vidIQ, it will show you how much competition does this have, how much view range does this topic has, and based on this you can validate the idea. Even if you nail the ideation process, but if you don't improve your second mistake, then no matter how good idea you have, you're not getting views because of this small mistake that you're doing before uploading a video. Let's start with my own personal experience. After I fixed my ideation, I was very sure that I'll get views in my video because I found the cheat code, right? Idea is very important, and I came up with best ideas. I used outlier framework. The idea was really good and the expectation was really high. So I came up with the idea, I scripted it, I planned that video, I even filmed the video. I also edited the video, which took lots of time because I wanted to make it perfect. And once it was ready to upload, I just realized, wait a second, YouTube is asking me to upload title thumbnail. I don't have a title thumbnail for this video. So I just make the title thumbnail in hurry when the video was just getting uploaded in YouTube Studio, and I slammed that video. I had so much expectation. Now I was like, yes, this is the video that's going viral because I cracked every code. But then it got views, of course it got views, but just couple of more than my previous video. Now I was totally confused because I just cracked the code and I thought I was going to go viral, but I'm in the same situation. And the frustration level increased one step more. And since I got more frustrated, the best thing that I did was I started to research more. And then I came across one video of Ali Abdal, and he said in that video,
if there is only one thing you take away from this talk, please make it that do not even think about what your video is going to be. Don't even think about writing the video unless you know what the title, thumbnail, and hook is going to be.
And I was like, why do you make title, thumbnail first? Like, it's not very important. Your video is more important. Your idea is more important. But then this advice repeated again and again by other creators too, whose videos I watched. And I was like, yeah, like if everyone is saying this thing, this might work. Like, let's try it. So for next video, what I told to myself is, until and unless I don't fix my title thumbnail, I'm not moving to the scripting process. And you know what happened? The video that I uploaded was my most viewed video after 9 months. It got 4,000 views. And I was like, ooh, now I cracked the code. So here's the thing that I'm gonna tell you. YouTube is not a video platform. YouTube is click and watch platform. If people don't click on your videos, they are not watching. So no matter how good video you have, no matter how much effort you have in editing, scripting, filming, everything, but if your packaging is bad, if no one is clicking, no one is watching. Therefore, spend more time on making your title thumbnail. You don't have to completely make the title thumbnail. You don't have to make it in Canva or design it. You can just have a rough outline, just like, okay, this will be my title, this will be my thumbnail, this will be the visual in my thumbnail, this will be the icons, this will be the text, and my thumbnail looks like this. Just a rough image, either in paper or in Notion, that's more than enough. And since then, my YouTube process has changed from this to this. But I know making title thumbnail will be very difficult, like always crafting perfect title, perfect thumbnail, perfect text for your thumbnail. Everything is very difficult because you never know what works, right? But if you don't want this guesswork and you want exact system and processes that I use to make my title thumbnail, and you also want to learn basic principles behind it, then the link is in the description. It's completely free. You can grab it from there. But here's the great problem. After I focused on my packaging, I was really happy and I was getting views. CTR was really high in my videos, and I thought, ooh, now I'm going viral. I have cracked the ideation, I have cracked the title thumbnail. Now I'm gonna go viral and my life is gonna change and I'm gonna make lots of money. But yeah, But once my video started to get views and I had so much high expectation, suddenly, this might have happened with you, the algorithm stopped pushing my video. And suddenly the graph was like, it was going up, 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 up. The algorithm was pushing, I was getting views, but suddenly it got flat. This is the problem every YouTuber faces. And if you don't fix this problem, it's very hard to get monetized. It's very hard to go viral. It's very hard to get views on your video. And to fix this, you have to fix the third mistake. The mistake is not meeting viewers' expectation. If you have been uploading videos for quite a long time, maybe a couple of months or a couple of years, then probably you have noticed this, that whenever you upload a video, in first few hours of uploading that video, the algorithm pushes to lots of people and you feel like, oh, now this video is getting picked up by the algorithm, and you get lots of high hopes that it will go viral, but then it stops to get any attractions even if the CTR is very high, and you feel like, oh, not again. But you don't know why this happens, and the main reason why this happens is you might be creating content for over a year or more than that, and you have got good at creating content, you have got good at filming videos, you have got good at coming up with ideas, packaging of the video, you have got good at providing value in your video, editing, every skill, your setup is good. But the thing that matters the most is for how long people watch your videos. Once people click on your videos, and if after a certain time they walk away from your videos, then it causes your retention to look like this. And since YouTube tracks watch time more than anything, if the watch time is low, it assumes that people don't want to watch this video, it stops to push to new audience, and your video stops to grow. But here's the interesting thing. If you are able to hold people's attention in your first 30 seconds, then it's much more likely that they'll watch entire video. Because once people pass that 30-second mark, they'll turn the video into full screen mode. And once someone goes into the full screen mode, it's very difficult to come out of it because they have already spent lots of time watching your videos. And to solve this problem, there comes a role of hooks. But to create a good hook, you need to understand viewer psychology when they click. And here's the psychology. People click on your videos because they have got some expectations or curiosity from your title and thumbnail. But in first few sentences, if you don't meet their expectations or their curiosity that you have generated from your title thumbnail, they'll probably walk away from your video. And if they walk away from your video, your retention looks like this. And if the retention looks like this, YouTube won't push it to new audience. And here is a simple solution for it. I call it 4P's method. The 4P stands for pain, or you can say problem, proof, promise, and last is the path, or you can say plan. I'll try to use this 4P's in your intro by understanding viewer psychology. So the first question that comes in viewers' mind once they click your title thumbnail is, will they get what they have clicked for? That is, will you meet their expectation or the curiosity that you have generated from title thumbnail? And to do this, what you do is, in your first few sentences that you use in your video, you repeat the same word that you have used in title thumbnail. Not everything, but most of the words. Just like, for example, if I made videos about, give me 15 minutes, I'll improve your communication skills. I don't start my video by saying, hey friends, welcome back to the channel. I had a great day. How was your day? I hope you're doing fine. People, they don't care about this. They don't give a damn. The thing people care is what will they get out of this video. So I'll start by saying, like, if you're an introvert and you feel shy with talking with people and you feel awkward during conversations and you want to improve your communication skills, then give me next 15 minutes and I'll help you improve your communication skills. Once you meet their expectation, the second question that comes in viewers' mind is, why should they care about this topic? So why should you care about watching this video before uploading your next video? Why? So for this, what I'll do is I'll trigger your pain. So the first P applies here, pain. I'll trigger the pain or the fear that you are facing. If you're an introvert and you feel shy with talking with people and you feel awkward during conversations, the third question that comes in viewer's mind is, why should they listen from you? You give your second P, that is your proof, your credibility about this topic. For this video, I gave my proof that I've been making videos from 2 years, past 2 years. That is more than 700 days. And that proof is more than enough for you to keep on watching this video. But here's the thing, don't elaborate your proof that I have done this, I've done this. No, just make your proof 1 to 2 sentences long. That's it. Fourth question that comes in their mind is, what's the solution to fix this problem? That's when you come up with your third P, that is the promise that you give in your video. So in this video, you'll get this thing. If you're an introvert and you feel shy with talking with people and you feel awkward during conversations and you want to improve your communication skills, then give me next 15 minutes and I'll help you improve your communication skills. Now, once they know the solution, they want to know how will they get the solution. And for that, you use the 4P, that is the path or the plan that you'll get. Just like in this video, I just said you there are 3 common mistakes. These are 3 simple common mistakes that you might be doing unknowingly before uploading your videos. 3 mistakes. This is the promise. And how will you get that promise? By improving the 3 mistakes. So if you watch those all 3 mistakes, you'll get the answer. But you'll only be able to answer above question properly so that your hook and intro is concise once you answer these questions. If you want more in depth about this method and many more for creating good hooks, there's a template linked in the description. It's completely free for you for now. I don't know for how long it will be free. And spend more time editing your hooks and intros because they are very important. So if you spend 10 hours on editing a video, the first 3 to 4 hours or even 5 hours should be spent on hooks and intro. If you love this video, then you'll definitely love this video too. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye bye.